Hi guys, so the European Union is facing a massive crisis at the moment because of Hungary and Poland's veto. Now, what happened was the European Union had spent the last number of months fighting amongst itself. In a way, you had the countries in the north wanting to have a smaller budget, countries in the south wanting a larger budget and better access to that budget. And there was a lot of wrangling, but eventually the European Union was able to agree something. The value of this budget is 1.8 trillion euros, so it's a massive amount of money. And it was to help countries recover from the pandemic. Now, two countries, of course, as I said, Hungary and Poland, vetoed it. Now, why did they veto it? Because part of the funding was linked to democratic norms. The respect for democratic norms, such as the rule of law and respect for and the protection of ethnic minorities and minority groups in general. Now, the problem is that the current Prime Minister, Vikor Orbàn, who's the current Prime Minister of Hungary, is acting pretty much like a dictator at the moment. He's suppressing freedom of expression, he's suppressing the media, he's channeling money from the government into state-owned media outlets which are promoting his brand of government. And in Poland we have the suppression of other groups. For example, we've seen how the country has basically become a religious fundamentalist state. The current government is suppressing the rights of women and minority groups as well. So the European Union has said that if you want some of this money, Poland and Hungary, you need to respect aspects of the European Union, such as the rule of law and democracy and the rights I've talked about before. And instead of actually saying, well, we'll go ahead with it, but we don't want the money, they said, no, we're going to veto it. Now, I'm going to come back to the veto in a moment, but the European Union, I think, expanded too quickly. And what happened was it involved countries that perhaps, and I don't mean this in a condescending way, perhaps it can be somebody may take it that way, but these countries were not ready for democracy. Hungary has basically been run by a dictator, and Poland is being run by the Catholic Church to a certain extent. Maybe these countries are not ready for democracy. Maybe the European Union expanded too quickly. Now, the problem with the veto is that one country can block everything. We've seen it before in the past with the UK, where the UK would veto certain progress that was taking place in the European Union. Now that the UK has left, it lost its veto, of course, it's no longer a member. But this approach of blocking progress has been taken up by the likes of Poland and Hungary. Now, I think Hungary Poland to a lesser extent, and Hungary definitely needs to be kicked out. Now, there isn't a mechanism to kick Hungary out of the European Union, but I don't see the value of having Hungary in the European Union. The government in Hungary don't want to be a member of the European Union, it seems. So they're happy to take the money from the European Union. They just don't want to put in place the ideals of the European Union, such as democracy, the rule of law, and the protection of ethnic minorities or minority groups. So once again, they're happy to take the money, but they don't want to follow the rules. But let's hear what the European Union had to say about this.
Maybe on Hungary, I will continue, and then Gigi, if you want to complement. Well, yes, we touched upon the Hungarian plan to adopt the new constitutional law, which touches or which is affecting the LGBT community, so I reacted on that yesterday. So on more general note, and to follow your question on whether we are going to be more rigorous or take more rigorous action, well, the Commission respects the rule of law principle itself. So we play with the competencies, so we play with the cards we have in hands. We are the guardians of the treaty, so when we see the laws adopted, this is important to mention, adopted laws, which are in breach with the EU law and with the treaty, we will immediately start acting by means of the legal procedure. At the same time, so this is regarding the electoral law and the law which I mentioned before. As for the media, of course, you know well that we do not comment on leaked recordings, but it is very clear how we describe the situation in media in the rule of law report and also in which appears in the Media Pluralism Monitor, that there are serious concerns about the freedom of speech and the conditions for the work of independent media. We have listed the clear concerns in the rule of law as follows. The independence of effectiveness of media council is under pressure. Transparency of media ownership is not fully guaranteed. Media concentration via the creation of the Central European Press and Media Foundation, so-called KESMA, conglomerate jeopardizes media pluralism. Significant state advertising is channeled to pro-government outlets, allowing the government to exert and direct political influence over the media. Public access to information is hindered, and independent media outlets face systematic obstruction and intimidation, and concerns have been raised about a trend of economic takeover of such outlets. This was the quote from our rule of law report, which was based on a very thorough analysis and several very trustworthy channels. So that's the reaction. We will, of course, follow the situation and act when necessary by the means we have in the hand. Yeah.
So I don't want to repeat what I said by Vera about the media, but I want just to comment the proposed amendments to the Hungarian constitution, because we are aware about those amendments, and I want to repeat for Hungary, like for all the member states, it's very important when we discuss about the constitutions that we organize, and it must be the case in Hungary, a very large and inclusive debate before to adopt a constitutional amendment, because it's very important to reflect in the constitution a very large consensus and to achieve the necessary checks and balances. And so, first of all, it's very important to have a real inclusive debate before to adopt any constitutional amendment. Of course, about the family law, because you spoke also about one part of those amendments, it's a member state's competence, but when the member states apply their national law, they must respect their international human rights obligations and, of course, the applicable EU law. So we will be very vigilant at the Commission level to verify that there is a correct application of international obligations and EU law principles. And you know that in Article 2 of the treaty, we have a reference to equality, to rule of law and human rights, and these values are common to all member states in a society in which pluralism, non-discrimination and tolerance prevail. So again, the Commission will remain very vigilant on the respect of those values and on the fact that it's needed when we discuss about constitutional amendment. It's very important to have a real open, inclusive debate in the society, and we will ask, of course, to do the same in Hungary than in other member states.
Isn't it interesting how they are so calm and collective when they deliver these speeches? You have a country on the side of Europe, on the edge of Europe, who is acting like a dictatorship, and it needs to be dealt with. These are fundamentals of the European Union: the rule of law, democracy, freedom of the press. And they're being undermined. And if the European Union does not stamp it out, it's going to spread. If Hungary is allowed to get away with this, you're going to see it spread into other countries. And then it will become just a joke. the European Union will collapse. This is what will collapse the European Union. Not standing up for the rights of its citizens, not standing up for its ideals. The Brexiteers are very happy about all of this. I don't understand why. The European Union, they see the European Union, of course, in a different way than I do. But if you want to predict, and I hope I'm wrong here, but if you want to predict the future of the UK, you can look at countries like Poland, you can look at countries like Hungary. Countries where the government have complete control over everything. There are no checks and balances. There's no oversight. There's no one to run to. At the moment, you can run to the European Union and ask for help. And the European Union is the last pillar that's left. But if these countries are gone from the European Union, and I think Hungary does want to leave, I think it's better. The European Union is better off without Hungary. But if you want to see what the UK is potentially to become, you can look at Hungary today. And once again, I hope I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. But once again, I say the European Union needs to stamp this out. If countries don't want to respect the rule of law and democracy, they have no place in the European Union. Thanks a lot.